Bismillah. Yeah, okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. What we will cover today is we've done Nun Sakin and Tanween Izhar, we've done Nun Sakin and Tanween Iqlab. We're going to do Idgham today. So what is Idgham? Idgham is the third rule. After Idgham, we've only got one more rule left. So from the 30 letters of Arabic alphabet, we've done 6 here, we've done 1 here, that's 7 done. So we've got 23 more letters. So from 23 letters, if there's 6 here, Idgham has another 6. So we are left with 15, which is in the last rule. Okay. What is Idgham? Idgham means to merge. Iqlab was to change and gunna. Idgham means you have to merge first, merge or ignore. Okay, I'll explain both ways, and then number 2 is we do gunna here. Okay, so the first thing is we have to merge and we have to ignore. What's the ruling after Nun Sakin or Tanween? If one of these letters come, now listen to Idgham a bit, try to concentrate, because in this one rule there's 2 rules inside this one rule. So otherwise, if we don't listen properly, it gets a bit complicated. After Nun Sakin or Tanween, if one of these letters come, what are these letters? Ya. Ya is 1. Ra, Mim, Lam, Waw, Nun. As a whole word, I'll give you the word inshallah, end of this lesson. So do you know the way we learn 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 𝗃𝗶𝗃𝗀𝗃 𝗃𝗶 we can learn the letters of Idgham in a word, in one word.
Is it Yarmalun?
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Yarmalun, yeah. Yarmalun. Yarmalun. I don't know why my Arabic handwriting has gone so bad. After they got this new template for when I used to use my plain black and white template, the writing used to come out nice. I don't know why. Since they started using this new template, my writing is a bit I don't know. It's a bit funny. But it's Yarmalun. Yarmalun. Ya Ra Mim Lam Waw Nun. Okay. So if you learn the word Yarmalun, the word will cover all 6 letters. Okay. So what happens if one of these letters come after Nun Sakin or Tanween? Then you will ignore the Nun Sakin, or if it comes after Tanween, we will ignore the Tanween, and then number 2 we have to do Gunna. Okay. So what's the example? Faman Ya'mal. Look at this example. Faman Ya'mal. After Nun, let me just zoom out a bit so we can see the letters as well. Okay. Now we can see these 6 letters. After Nun Sakin here, which letter came? The letter Ya, and letter Ya is here. So how do I read it? Do I read Faman Ya'mal, or do I read Faman Ya'mal? Do I ignore this? Yeah, Faman Ya'mal. I ignore this letter completely. Now you can say ignoring. You can say I ignore this completely. I just cross it off, and the mim catches the Ya. Or in other words, you can say you merge this letter Nun into Ya, and so Nun becomes a Ya. So instead of saying merging, let's just say ignoring. Okay, done, finished. So instead of there is no Nun, the Nun doesn't exist anymore. فَمَن يَعْمَل. That's what Idgham is. Okay.
Is it because Shadda?
After Sakin, there's a Shadda.
Like
sorry.
So, is it because the Shadda is like a higher thing?
Yeah, stronger. Yeah, but normally Idgham after Sakin there'll always be a Shadda. Okay, but yeah, in Idgham there'll be a Sakin first, and the next letter will majority of the time, I think most of the time we'll have a Shadda. But there's another rule. Do you know like Kitta? Okay, this is a word of the Quran, Kitta. What happens here? There is no Idgham here because the letter is a Dal and a Ta. So the Shadda and Sakin rule will apply there. Okay, because Sakin is not strong enough, so the Kaf will catch the Ta. Is that clear? In Idgham,
so these letters are not part of the
Idgham.
Idgham, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that Sakin and the Shadda rule will apply there. That the first, because the Dal has a Sakin and the Ta has a Shadda, we will just ignore the dal completely. And instead of saying kidta, we'll say kitta. I'm going to cover these silent letters in the last module anyway. Okay, but that's not idgham, because the thing is, in here I'm ignoring, but I'm not doing no gunna. Also, it's not one of these letters. Also, it's not after nun sakin or tanween. Is that clear? This ta didn't come after nun sakin or tanween, and this ta is not one of these letters, so it's not really idgham. Okay, but we do ignore, because after sakin, shadda comes. So we do ignore, but we don't do no gunna or anything. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, is that clear with everyone?
Yeah.
I forgot to get another example of tanween. Normally I've in the other two I've given example of nun sakin. I've also given an example of tanween. So let me just see if I okay, when we go to the Quran, we'll find an example of tanween, inshallah. Now, idgham is broken into two parts. Okay, type number one is you will change the you will ignore the letter, and you'll also do gunna, like this one. You'll ignore the letter nun and you'll do gunna. There's another type of idgham, is you will only ignore the letter, but you wouldn't do gunna. Okay, so these 6 letters are split into 2. Okay, group number 1 is ignore and gunna. Group number 2 is only ignore, no gunna. Yeah, let me just write no G, because I can't write the whole thing. So group number 1 is we ignore the letter and we do gunna. This is group number 1. Ya, waw, mim, nun. Group number 2 is we only ignore, we don't do gunna. It might be a bit complicated now. When I go to the Quran, everything's going to be clear, inshallah. So far, is this okay?
Yeah.
It is not 100%, I know, because we haven't done it practically. But inshallah, once we do practical, it's going to be clear. Just remember this for now. The letters of idgham are ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, nun, or yarmalun. There's 2 types of idgham. One is idgham with gunna. What are the letters of idgham with gunna? Ya, waw, mim, nun. The other one is idgham without gunna. When I say idgham, there is merging and ignoring is still going to happen, but the gunna part is not going to happen. Yeah. And this one, idgham with gunna, means the merging or ignoring also alongside with gunna. Yeah. Once we go to the Quran, look, the examples are here. Examples for idgham with gunna. Brother Imran, what was the letters of idgham with gunna? Idgham altogether has 6. Ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and nun. What's the letters of idgham with gunna?
With gunna.
Yeah.
So yarmalun, so is
No.
wow. Or you may tell me the letters with gunna. The one that you do
with
gunna
gunna.
with.
Yeah. Yarmalun is the whole group. But from those 6, there are 4 with gunna and 2 without gunna. What's the 4 with gunna? Just name one. I'll ask one to everyone.
Wow.
MashaAllah. Brother Kibriya?
Yeah.
MashaAllah. Brother Amin?
Nun.
MashaAllah. Yeah, well, yeah. And brother Fahim?
Mim.
MashaAllah. Done. Finished. Done. Ya, waw, mim, nun. These are the 4 with gunna. Without gunna, does anyone know?
Lam and
Ra.
Ra.
Yeah, the examples are there. Lam and Ra, the examples are there. Okay. Now with gunna, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, we done it before. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ, we have to ignore this, and then we do gunna. So we say فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ. Is that clear? Same here. We ignore this. We ignore the tanween. We don't say ka'asfin. We don't say ka'asfin ma'kul. We say ka'asfim. The tanween, the kasra catches this mim next. Okay, so instead of saying ka'asfin ma'kul, we say ka'asfim ma'kul. Okay, ka'asfim ma'kul. We ignore or we merge and we do gunna. Look at these 2 examples. They're ones without gunna. Do you know قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم do we say ولم يكن له or do we say ولم يكن له?
لم يكن.
Yeah. So what happened after nun sakin or tanween? The letter lam came. So are we not meant to do idgham? Yes, we are going to do idgham, but the idgham without gunna. So we're just going to ignore the noon, and we're just going to, the kaf is going to catch the lam. Okay? So, and we don't do gunna in here. We don't say walam yakullahu. We say walam yakullahu. Only merging or ignoring would happen. No gunna. Same here, the letter ra is here. Remember, lam and ra is for the one without gunna. Do we say 𝗃𝗂𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃 راضية? Do you know فأما من خفت موازينه فأمه وما أدراك ما هي نار حامية. سورة ويل لكل همزة لمزة. 𝗃𝗂𝗃 راضية. This is in ويل. So we don't say 𝗃𝗂𝗃 راضية. We say 𝗃𝗂𝗃 راضية. We just merge the tanween into the ra. Okay? Instead of saying 𝗃𝗂𝗃 راضية, we say 𝗃𝗂𝗃 راضية. So the ta ends up having one kasra and then tir radiyah. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll start the
Let's-
text. The text might need to be updated
Is it this one?
because the examples of idgham with gunna. That one should be without gunna. The second example without gunna.
Which one? Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
you got example
Oh yeah,
one.
yeah. Examples with gunna and examples with gunna. Yeah. Jazakallah for reminding me. Plus,
Yeah, that's-
I just, because I wrote it without gunna, but the person who's updated it, I think he missed it. Plus here, he wrote by mistake they put two shadda. They put two fatha, but it's not meant to be two fatha. Inshallah, I'll change it. Jazakallah for picking it up. Okay, it's meant to be walam yakul lahu. The lam is meant to have one fatha, not two fatha. Okay, Jazakallah for that. Jazakallah. Okay, the emphasis will be on the succeeding letter because of the presence of shadda. Yeah. So what we'll do, we'll just ignore this and we'll just jump to the next one. Idgham means it was my note, but I didn't really want it to be on the slide, but it just ended up on the slide. Idgham means to merge two letters together. In this case, the nun sakin or tanwin will merge with the next letter. Okay, let's just go to the next one. Ikhfa next. So let's go to Quran, and inshallah we'll do some practical reading. Okay, this one's not working. Not working. So far, is everything cleared or?
So can I ask one question?
Yes.
So do you know the idgham without gunna?
Yeah.
And before you on the previous slide, you mentioned just an example of the word kibta, where you had a so can I ask, because in there you're merging, but there's no for that example there was no gunna, right? So if the gunna letters are only in essence 4 letters, how come the other 2 are included in this rule of idgham?
Oh yeah, because the other 2 are included because after nun sakin and tanween, if these letters come, we have to ignore. Okay, but like, do you know kitta? Like example, I gave kitta. We only ignored the dal because the next letter has had a shadda. Okay, if the next letter didn't have a shadda, we would have not ignored it. We would have just read it normally. While in ra and lam, if the next letter has a shadda or not shadda, as long as it's after nun sakin or tanween, we have to ignore it.
Okay.
Basically, idgham one is more wider. Okay. The rule is more broad. After nun sakin or tanween, if ra and lam comes, no matter if ra and lam has a shadda or not shadda, we will have to ignore it. While the other one is, it has to be a sakin has to come, a shadda has to come after a sakin. Is that clear?
Okay, yeah.
wait, let me just go to the whiteboard and I'll explain to you. So 1 second.